Welcome back. Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight, Chad Calek is here. We're going to talk about his new film, 74 Minutes. Tomorrow night, Linda Moulton Howe. We're going to be talking about disclosure and 2022 and everything else under the sun. It's because Linda's here, just like Chad. Tonight, it's all things ghost. We're going to talk about his new film, 74 Minutes. Chad is a former director and cast member of such popular TV shows as A&E's Paranormal State, The Ghost Prophecies, and Verizon Go 90s Ghosted series, as well as the award-winning documentary that and a filmmaker that produced and directed and edited films like American Ghost Hunter, AGH, A Blood Red Sky, and the Sir No Face series of films. We've talked about all of those here, all great films. In his brand new 74 Minutes documentary, Chad shares the most compelling. I'm going to let him tell you about it. I'm not going to get into it. In fact, I'm not even going to do one spoiler tonight. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 spoilers I've got set up for you. That's right. I would like to welcome back to Fade to Black, the one and only Chad Calek. Chad, Happy New Year, my man. How you doing?
Hey, man. Happy New Year to you. It's great to hear from you.
Man, you look fan-frigging-tastic.
Well, thank you. I have lost 150 pounds. It's taken about 2 years to do it, but I feel good. I feel very good. So,
well, okay, wait. You're right. 2 years ago, almost to the day, we were at the Rainbow.
Yeah, that's right, man.
That's right. That was
a lot of fun. Yeah, so since then.
Yeah, 2 years ago, and I'm looking at you now, and I've seen a couple of pictures, and I thought, man, Chad looks like he went to college and he grew up on me. He looks he looks all adultified. He looks all adultified. Right. So that's what it was, huh? 150 pounds.
150 pounds, it was, and it wasn't even so much of like a diet per se. It was, look, all of us are getting older, and you just don't feel good. And it was one of those things where I was like, you know what, man, I've got to get this weight off.
Right.
And it was really just about changing how I live, and not eating, not drinking sodas, and just really watching what I eat. We were talking earlier, I'm not a big exercise guy either. I hate exercise. It's just boring to me. That's why.
Right.
So I really had to focus in on the dieting and portioning, and I knew it was going to be a slow process, but my goal was simply at the end of each month, whatever it is, I just want to weigh less.
Right.
And my overall goal was 150, and it took about 2 years to do it. So,
wow, you look amazing. And and this is the crazy part. Let's get straight to the film. And okay. I'll tell you why we're going to get straight to the film. I'm looking at you now, and I'm watching the film, and the film is the old you. So, yeah. What was it like to go back and review this footage and seeing the old you?
Really weird, especially because the film, opens up with, stuff back in when I was like 10 years old, and it really covers, by and large, a 25-year window. But I guess what was so interesting about it is, it's like at certain times in your life, you think you have things figured out. And then like a year later, you look back and you go, man, I didn't know shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
So to watch all that footage, because I know me, like I can see the way I react to things and how I feel about things. And it was really kind of like this journey through this mental process of trying to figure out what was going on and to find the answers that I wanted. So it was really weird because in some of those clips, I'm really almost unrecognizable. So it's really strange.
100%. The only reason why I know it's you is because of the F-bombs that you drop every 10 minutes. But and so even in the dark, I know where you are. Yeah, that's Chad over there. Okay. Now, let's I have a quick disclaimer both to you, Chad, and to the audience. I went through the film and I picked out. There's like in the film, there's probably 50, 60, 70, 80 key things that are presented in the film. I pulled out like 10 moments in the film that either made me laugh, made me pee on myself, or I just thought was amazing. So, and there's a couple of moments in the film I'm going to tell you, Chad, right now, you made me laugh harder than I've laughed. When you're sitting alone in a room, and okay, I'm just going to say this. I'm going to get to towards the end of things. The pew cushion. Dude, I'm alone. I'm alone in the studio, and your reaction made me laugh for 10 minutes by myself. No, we'll get to that. Okay, we're going to get to that. I'm just letting you know that was an unbelievable moment. Okay, but here's the disclaimer. I was blown away with the idea of this film in that I don't think I've ever seen anything like this before, number one. Number two, you chose to go back. I'm going to let you explain why, but this is my disclaimer to the audience, why the film blew me away. It's your personal experiences through your life's journey that made up your mind on the paranormal. And that's key. And I was like, right now, and this is the other thing. And now I've got the links up where everybody can go and see the film. I have that up in Twitter. I've got it in social media. I put it up in the chat room. It's right there. Just go to aGHtelevision.com and you can go and check out the film. So it's all out there. Okay, so there's no fluff. There's no filler. It is cut, and I was glued. It was an amazing presentation and a great idea, Chad. Great idea for a film. So,
well, thank you. The reason this came about is, one, I'm also a fan of just evidence, period. So I've always thought, like, what movie would I want to see? That's just, a lot of people make films and Sir No Face focused on a piece of evidence. But if I'm just a fan of the paranormal and I just want to see, is it real or not? Just show it to me. No one's ever done like an hour and 20 of straight evidence.
No, and to be honest here, and I thought about this, you made films that way too, right? Where the clip, is in one section of the film, and you build the film around that moment, right? And then there's that moment. You did the same thing. This is the opposite. This is all of those moments strung together throughout your career, and what a great way.
That was a difficult thing to make too, because I had nothing to reference. You're right. No one had ever done this.
Right.
For some reason, in the paranormal field, the people that have had these massive experiences that have made them go into the paranormal, they don't like even sharing the story half the time. I mean, it took me forever to get Ryan Buell to even speak about what happened to him. I know Jay from Ghost Hunters has never told like his story. And I was just like, well, listen, I'll tell my story. But now, not only than that, I'll put it all out there. Like, I think people have an issue with, but what if I'm wrong? What if something is like that? And I'm always like, listen, we're going to be wrong. This is the paranormal. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm, but in this hour and 20 minutes, I don't think we are. But if through peer review and getting it out there, if someone can figure some of this out, that's great. Because what we're left with, the stuff we can't figure out, that's where the 1% of truth resides. And I think that's what this film also demonstrates through a really unique way of just showing every, I mean, you know how many clips there are. There's so much.
There's so much material there. And so the film is 120 minutes long. It's called 74 minutes because these are 74 minutes of the things that changed him. It's a lot of clips, man. It's a lot of clips, a lot of video, a lot of audio, a lot of EVPs, a lot of everything. So what I did, and I think I'm pretty clever about this, I don't like spoilers, and I hate when people do that. So, but I've got some key words here to mention. Everybody will have to go and watch the film to see exactly what we're talking about. But I did this to get your reaction from these key moments in the film, because man, there's some stuff in here, and I've kind of got it a little bit in chronological order. I do jump around a little bit, but I thought it would be easier for you, for us to go through some of these moments in the film in order, because there's so much material there. I thought maybe we should just handle this chronologically, and it may help you, because what I've got here isn't necessarily a direct thing. And so, and now EVPs. There's a lot of EVPs in the film, but there's also an EVP section, which is really, really great. And there's also a Queen Mary part in this film too, as well. I think you know that I did a ghost hunt on the Queen Mary last Halloween, and in the room upstairs that is represented here in the film, the bar, I had a crazy ass experience in that room at midnight. Yeah, and two things happened to me on the Queen Mary. Now, I know that you've been out there like over a dozen times. I've been on the Queen Mary many times, but I've only done one ghost hunt. I came out, I won the lottery. I had a disembodied voice, and I had a door slam. And right there, I mean, like, it's like, what the? I walked out in the parking lot, Chad. After that, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and this is what I did. Yeah, it happened. This stuff is real. So
the Queen's legit. The Queen Mary's legit. Yeah,
and a beautiful boat, and just spooky as the day is long. It's too quiet. It's too old.
I've had so many experiences.
That boat is haunted. Okay, so let's get to EVPs, because this one, there's so many in the film. There's a lot, but I'm just going to say this: I hear you.
Yeah,
dude.
So Waverly Hills. Yeah, what I loved about that more than anything is I was in Waverly Hills with my friend Adrian Valera, and we were
Valera.
Yeah, you know him.
Was he in that clip? Right? Was he in that clip?
He was in that clip as well. Yeah. No, I mentioned that. I really
missed
cool
that. He's one of our best friends, but I didn't know.
He's an awesome guy.
He's an awesome guy.
I mentioned everybody that I investigated with throughout this film and in the credits, which was very cool for me to just kind of give that love back, you know what I mean? And be like, I did this with this person here and here and here. But what's crazy about that EVP is we had done our walkthrough and they had left. Like Tina had left, and they told us, basically, we're going to leave the one door unlocked. Just make sure you lock it when you leave. But the door unlocks and locks from the outside. Now, before we went in, we made sure that it was unlocked. So then we come back in that little safe house next to Waverly Hills, and the door's locked from the outside.
So you're locked in. You are locked in. Right.
We are locked in. We're
That's
not getting out unless, unless we scale walls, So I turn, and initially we were watching it's funny because this was like 2005. So back then people were still arguing over what orbs were, right? So we're watching basically what amount to dust orbs, and we're pretty freaked out because they're huge and we don't really know what's going on at that time. So afterwards we go back to look at the footage to see these orbs, right? And we pretty quickly determine, we're seeing like dust with our eyes. But right away, I remember, man, I had my headphones on when I was watching that. And the first time that came in, literally, you can hear a voice that's clearly a ways away from us. And it yells out, I hear you. But what's interesting is, and I say this in that clip, I say Adrian and I are from Los Angeles. We do not have an accent.
That's right. You do say that. You do. That's right. It is Adrian in that clip now. Now I remember you cut to his face and you make that comment. Adrian and I are from Los Angeles. I should call him right now and get him on the show.
Sure.
No, I'm being serious. No, I'm not going to call him.
Fine. It was shocking, man, because like obviously where it comes to it's partially over our voices as we're talking back and forth. So you can hear that it's a third voice, but the accent of it was so strong. It's that I hear you, and we clearly at the time didn't hear it, or we would have responded and been like, yo, we're in here, unlock us, So it was one of those things that, we didn't hear at the time, and chilling, totally chilling.
And so you guys are locked in. Tina, the owner's like a half hour away. You're locked in. She's on her way to come and free you guys, and that's when all the drama went down. It's out of all of we've all heard great EVPs, but that one is one of the, and there's actually a couple others in this film that are even better than the I Hear You. And the I Hear You is as clear as anything I've ever heard. The little English girl later in the castle, dude,
chilling.
Dude, that was messed up. I had to go back and watch that part of the film a few times. Anyway, I Hear You. So that was Adrian Valera. Okay. Yeah. All right. I'm so tempted to call him right now, get him on speakerphone. Now, the next, these are your reactions. Okay, that's why I've always, the reaction of the I Hear You is just incredible. Also, the I Hear You is going on over your conversation, too, as well. It's just you and Adrian there, and then this is in the middle of it. And you can tell it's distant, like it's down at the end of the hallway. What is it about?
It sounds hollow,
It does. What is it about Waverly Hills, man?
Well, you know what? At the time that we investigated it, what was really cool is when we first went in there, like no shows had been there. Like, I mean, there was broken streptomycin bottles on the floor. There were toe tags on the floor. It was not the big thing that it was. It was super cheap. I mean, I'm going to say it was like I think we filmed a total of 4, maybe 6 days. And it was, they were like, give us $500 and you can have the place. Wow. And I know now it's like $1,000 like a person per night or some shit. It's like totally crazy. But that place, when we went in there, it was so untouched when we were there and so raw. And man, I am telling you, the amount of stuff that went on in that couple of days, 3-4 days that we went in there, the amount of things that happened in 25 years of investigating, the amount of things that happened, I've never experienced anything like it. I mean, it was just coming, man. You didn't have time to catch your breath before the next thing was happening.
Right.
I mean, it was nonstop. And the whole premise of that, project was to bring in people that didn't believe and see, how they felt when it was over. And by the time it was over, people were like, there was almost everybody had quit because they were terrified. But Waverly Hills, I just think it's so much concentrated death. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. In such a short amount of time. Mm-hmm. I think that has a lot to do with it. And whenever you have, I think rapid death that happens, a lot of times there's an atonement for things that aren't settled or negative things that happen. A lot of times people actually have, good experiences. Like there's a book out that I know, it's about a guy who basically found his love in Waverly Hills and got married, and they ended up passing away in Waverly Hills, but they found love in Waverly Hills. So anytime you have these type of experiences that have profound emotional connections, you're going to have hauntings. And this is, the amount of people that have died in this one building is tens of thousands of people. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So I just think that's it, And it also depends on the person. It depends on, the belief in the paranormal, whether or not that veil of disbelief is there. Are they serious about it? Are they willing to experience it? I think a lot of that stuff has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, I
which
think
I kind of talked about at the end of the film.
Yeah, you do, and I think that's such a good point. You've got Waverly Hills and other places like that where it's obviously creepy. You get that vibe out of the gate, right? And so you've got the setting, about its past, and if you are there wanting to and believing in, it's going to come and find you. But if you've got some Yahoo with you that is there to have proof, and if nothing happens tonight, then this is all BS, they're not going to experience a thing. Right?
No, they're not. I think they're joking around and screwing around, and it's like there is a seriousness to this, and it's rooted in belief. And if your goal is to come in and disrupt everybody and make sure nothing happens, nothing's going to happen. But if you're willing and open to the experience, you can have that experience.
It's the same thing with UFOs, man. It's the same thing. You go out with a group of friends and you want to have a night, sky watch, and you've got your, your night vision goggles, and you're all prepped up and you're vibing, and you got somebody there that is just right. And it's just talking that smack. They're not going to see anything, and they may kill it for everybody else. It's the vibe that you project. I really do. I think there's a certain connectiveness to the universe that goes all the way from the paranormal. And when we talk about, ghosts and the afterlife and extra dimensions, and you get into science and physics and all of that, and then over to UFOs and to Bigfoot. All of this is connected, man. It's all right there for you. It's all connected.
Yeah. Well, I think the subconscious is a whole unexplored world. I mean, like, our brains are active the whole time, and we only know what a percentage of our brain is doing, but it's all active. So I think I often talk about how once you have a paranormal experience, you'll start seeing paranormal stuff all the time. And I compare it to the new car experience. Like, when you get a new car, you suddenly notice the same model of everybody else who has one as you, because subconsciously it's important. So now it's scanning and picking it out when it sees it. I think the paranormal is the same way. Once you have an experience and you know it's real, then you're definitely more likely to see things.
Yeah, it's so funny, man. I get a Jeep, and then suddenly I think that everybody on the planet is driving a Jeep. Right. And I thought I was the only person that noticed these things, but it's really true. It's really true. And suddenly, right, your bubble is all about this once you are exposed to it and you know what's going on.
Yeah, definitely. 100%. I mean, belief is, I think, key to experiencing all of this stuff.
Let's take our break right here, and we'll jump right back into it when we return. Our guest tonight, Chad Calek. Listen, I've got it up. It's aghtelevision.com. I've got it up throughout social media. In the chat rooms, it's right there. You can go and check out the film 74 Minutes. When I come back, I'm going to get to my little special moments. Don't worry. No spoilers. And you're going to have to go check out the film when you get Chad's reactions. That's what I'm dealing with tonight. It's an amazing film. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. This is Fade to Black.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network.
Your 1 million gigawatt paranormal powerhouse, KUNX-DB, VX.
This is Billy Carson with ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. Forbidden Knowledge TV has just reached its 1-year anniversary. That's right, 1 year. And as a show of appreciation, we are giving all new subscribers a free 30-day trial of ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. That's 30 days to binge watch thousands of movies, documentaries, conferences, workshops, lectures, yoga classes, meditation courses, and so much more. So log on to forbiddenknowledge.tv from your computer or mobile device, or get the Forbidden Knowledge TV app on Apple TV, Roku, Amazon, iTunes, or Google Play today and use coupon code 30daysfree. That's coupon code 30daysfree on forbiddenknowledge.tv today.
Because you never got that pony you always wanted. Damn it. Jimmy Church and Fade to Black on the Game Changer Network.
Listen, I know, and you know, that you've always wanted your first crystal skull. Or maybe you're a collector just like me, but you just don't know where to go to find the real thing. Then I met Carolyn Ford over at EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com. Carolyn is the guardian of Einstein, one of the most respected ancient crystal skulls in the world. All of her unique skulls have been imprinted sitting with Einstein in his sacred lodge and are carved from the finest gemstone and materials. Imprinting is the process of receiving the ancient wisdom from the master skull or master computer, Einstein the Ancient Crystal Skull. To see Carolyn's current collection of crystal skulls, just visit her store at EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com or click on the banner over on our site. Don't forget to use the promo code Jimmy at checkout to receive 10% off of your order today. That's promo code Jimmy. Finding your first or next crystal skull is easy. Just visit EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com. When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Yes, Rivermoon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today.
Hello, I'm Katie and you're listening to my main man, Jimmy Church, on jimmychurchradio.com.
Hi, this is Ray Hobbs here, repping the planet, and you're listening to my good friend, Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
This is Toby Kebbell. You're listening to jimmychurchradio.com. Don't hurt me, Jimmy. I'm only little.
Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier. And this is Ari Gold. We're the Honey Brothers. We're of the Honey Brothers. Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier. And I'm Ari Gold. We're the Honey Brothers. And you're listening to Jimmy Church. The Revolution.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and you can become an official Fadernaut by just going to our membership section at jimmychurchradio.com.
Hello, this is Serena Wright Taylor from Conscious Life Expo, and you're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church, who holds the Lucky Pony record for the best astrological chart since 1963. True story.
This is Micah Hanks of the Gralien Report, and you're listening to Jimmy Church on Fade to Black.
Welcome back. Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight, Chad Calek. We're talking about his new film. It's called 74 Minutes. And I have pulled some Chad reactions.
It was cool that you noticed that you recognized the humor in this because it was very intentional. Because a lot of it is very funny.
Oh, man. We're going to get to that. We're going to get, okay. Now, actually, it's this next little thing, and I've called it Louder. Okay? Now, you know what hopefully you know what I'm talking about, and you were at this moment, and you were like, okay, come on, give me something, and I'll call it a knock. Let's just call it a knock. I'm not sure what it was, but anyway, you react, and it was funny, and you turn around and you say, "Give it to me."
Well, louder.
Louder.
Yeah. Well, so I'm with my best friend and longtime investigation partner, Justin Holstein. We're in the Davenport Bag and Paper Company building, which is literally built on the site where Chief Blackhawk was captured, and that's how Iowa came to exist. He basically gave up the land. The building's known for a long time to be very haunted. So I was actually there in a weekend visiting, editing a different film. We decided, let's go edit in the haunted place. And as we start editing, the ceiling, there's just these massive banging sounds. And both of us hop up. And I'll tell you how long this went on. It's not demonstrated in this clip. But when it starts out, you hear tink. And I'm like, louder. And it's like, boom. And I'm like, louder.
Boom. Yeah, instantly, too, as well. Just a second later or two.
Justin, Justin, I go, dude, would you agree that's louder? And he's like, yeah, dude. And then it cuts to us in the basement, right? Well, what happened was we had another friend with us that had never been ghost hunting. And he used to always say, if you're ever going near me, call me. Well, we called him. He lived a couple blocks away, and we're like, dude, shit is going down right now. Like, the ceilings are beating on call. And he was like, get out of here. Like, I swear to God. He comes down. We hear the beating again, but now we hear it in the basement. So we go down in the basement, and you saw how reactive that was, and it was terrifying. We lose it because it was so reactive.
It was reactive. It was responsive. It was on demand. It was on call. When you jump like that, I mean, right? Because that's got to be scary as crap, man. I mean, because you're not really expecting, right, a response.
Even as a seasoned paranormal investigator, rarely do you get an intelligent response that reactive. So the thought that's going through your head is, if it can do this, like, it can do something to me. So yeah, when it's that loud on call, and it's on call 4 or 5 times, it's terrifying, and I always have this thing where the more terrified I get, I have a freak out session, and then I will start giggling. That's how you could always tell when I'm the most terrified. And I used to say there's a certain comfort in being completely fucked when you just know, like, there's nothing I could do. I'm here. I asked for this. It happened. Whatever's going to happen, it's going to happen. Yeah, and that's when I start giggling. You know?
That scene, Chad, I'm being serious, man. So I'm watching the film, and I've got big monitors, so, I mean, I've got it in my face, right? And when you are asking for this, and I'm jumping with you guys, because it's happening. I mean, just like, whoa, man, this is awesome, man. This is crazy.
It was wild, man.
That was insane.
And what I love about that footage, too, and even when I watch other footage, context is everything. Context is everything. You can always tell if something is real or not by the reactions of those experiencing it. And that's one of the most real pieces of footage you'll ever see, because we were terrified,
man.
What was going on?
It was intense, man. Intense. Yeah. All right. Now, lots of amazing stuff in this film, but this next moment, I call it the dragging body bag upstairs.
Yeah.
Okay. Man. Now, this is not a knock. This isn't something moving in the background. This isn't a little thing. This isn't a whisper. It's it's not. No. It's a frigging body bag. That's what it sounds.
That's what it sounds like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you guys don't say body bag in the movie, I don't think. Body bag is mine, everybody. I'm not sure if it was a body bag, but that's what it sounds like. Okay, so that is a different. That's like that's like right out of Hollywood. It's like a horror film, and that's going on.
Chillingham Castle.
Yeah,
Chillingham Castle, and my team was there. That was during Blood Red Sky, and thank God Kieran O'Keefe was there as well too. Who's the most skeptical human being ever? And you can see we're just having a conversation at that time about Justin, who was off doing his experiment, and it just happened. And from above us, it's just this massive sound. And you're exactly right. That's what it sounded like somebody was dragging a body bag, but it was so loud. And it came from everywhere above us. And again, you see me freaked out, and you see Kieran just shocked to the point where he's literally going, he's turning to me going like, I heard that right. It was above us, right? Like, I heard that, right? I'm like, no, yeah, you heard that, man. I mean, I heard it stopped everything in the room, and we're just staring up like, so
it lasts for like 5 or 10 seconds. It's not a quick thing. And it goes across the ceiling. I'm watching you guys are looking at it like move across the ceiling. Yeah.
Yeah, we're tracking it. It came from above us, and it did move from like one side to the other, but it was almost like when if you ever had, been editing and you put like a fader from one side to the other.
Yeah, pan.
That's kind of what it was like. Yeah, it all came from above, but it was just like this massive panning sound. And what was really freaky is Graham, who runs the place and keeps track of it, lives there 24/7. He heard it too. And he was like, I have no idea what that is.
Now, do you?
And I'm like,
who do you make go upstairs and check it out? Because I know you don't go. I'm not going.
No, I went.
I went,
and I went with Kieran, and we went up just to see. And it never happened before or after. It happened at a time where Joey was absolutely freaking out about the experiment that he thought he was going to have to do. And it was one of those, that whole film was about how responsive are things in relation to what we are going through mentally. And the more and more Joey, his fear and anxiety and resentment for even being there continued to build and build and build, the more and more things began to happen. So at that time, Kieran and I, because we were so certain of what we heard, we went up through every floor above us, there was only 2 at the time. And I mean, there's nothing. I mean, and what could move and sound that? I mean, you hear the bass of it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's massive.
It's big and heavy, and whatever's dragging it is bigger.
Right, exactly. And there was nothing, man. There was nothing anywhere. And Graham had never heard that before either. Ever.
Yeah, that was just unreal. There, little side note. You've seen the movie Labyrinth, right? David Bowie.
Yes, long time ago.
Okay, in the movie, the little goblins, the little creatures are always scurrying in the background, and you don't see them. You hear them, right? And I always think about that. And a couple of weeks ago, a month ago, I'm at night. I'm on my back patio with my night vision. I've got all the lights off. I'm by myself, and behind me, I'm in a patio chair. Behind me, where the house is, I hear something run along the bottom of the house. Behind me, I hear it from my left ear. It runs all the way the length of the house, pretty fast. Right now, it was probably a lizard. I live in the desert. It's not that big of a deal, but it scared the crap. Yeah, it scared the crap out of me. And there's a moment in the film, and the door part, whatever, which was crazy. But I don't care about it. Something ran in the dark.
So that's at Gettysburg, and it's at the Tilly Pierce house. That's the one place they told us in the whole building nothing ever happened. When we were filming Paranormal State, and Ryan and those guys just did the reenactments where they dressed up like period piece, and I was like, I am not doing any of that shit. So I stuck it out.
Right.
So then afterwards, nothing happened. And I said, well, listen, say I'm Tilly and I'm the ghost, and you guys come in here doing a bunch of weird shit. If I'm her, I'm going to, go hide in my room. Let's go there and see what happens. And tons of stuff happened. But as you point out, the weirdest thing, and the sound is so creepy, is I'm standing in front of a door. And the door slowly starts moving and slams, and Ryan says, hey, was that you? And whenever someone says, was that you, and I'm in an investigation, I always lean to the side of yes, because I'm assuming if I'm near it, I'm close to it, it had to be me, right?
Right.
So, but right after that happens, yes, you hear this, it sounds like the world's largest spider or something just scurry.
It's a gremlin. It's a gremlin. But
it's so loud.
So here's the deal, everybody. Big bad Chad Calek gangsta, right?
Freaks the fuck out.
Jumps out of his skin, and because that is whatever. This isn't. It's so funny when you watch these paranormal shows, which I love. I love watching them, and you always. Did you hear that? It's a little. Oh, did you hear that? No, not this. That was scurrying feet. Running and bumping into stuff.
Well, I thought, was this like a massive rat? Is there a cat in here? Like something? I mean, we immediately afterwards turned on the lights, went to the bathroom, looked. There's no rat holes. There's no
escape route.
There's nothing.
Right.
And that was a terrifying moment because your head is thinking, okay, is this paranormal? And suddenly it goes into like some Cryptoville where you're like, whoa, wait a minute. There's some kind of monster on the floor in here? Like, what is going on?
Exactly, because this is the thing, though. That moment in the film, everybody just go and watch it. You have to, because it's absolutely hilarious. These guys are investigating the stupid moving door. Right? So they're all focused on the door. Right? And then all of a sudden, and you guys just jump out of your seat. I jumped. It was that wasn't even in my notes. I just wanted to bring that up. It was a crazy part of the film. Okay. The dragging body bag. Just go and watch the film. And this is the thing, everybody. There is probably 50 moments in this film. We're just talking about a couple. And I'm not mentioning any of what you may think are the best parts. These are just the reactions of Chad, which just made me laugh. Now, I want to get to the Queen Mary. And the reason why the Queen Mary wasn't a reaction thing on film. It's not a video clip. It's a photograph that was taken. But interesting to me was I was in that bar on the top floor of the Queen Mary. And in that room where this picture, you have to see the film and you can go and see it. It's not the picture for me, okay? And the picture is taken of the bar. So what happened to me there, Chad, so you know where the bar is. In the back of the room on the opposite side, there's a door that leads to two bathrooms, a men and women's bathroom, that unless you knew that it was there, you probably wouldn't have known. And I was filming in that room for this TV show for probably 2 or 3 hours, and I never noticed because we had the film crew up by the bar and the piano, right, on that side of the room. So the lounge, it's a lounge area. So that was in the dark, and I wasn't paying attention. So now it's around midnight, and some of the people that I'm there with, Susan Slaughter and things. So there was like this little quiet moment, and all of a sudden, this door slams over my shoulder, and I turn and look. Now I see the doorway. I'm like, what? And we all freak. So the cameras follow me. I walk back there, and now I see that it's one door that leads to a men and, the gentlemen, ladies, 2 bathrooms. And both doors are closed, and I open them up. The lights are off. There's nobody in there. I knew nobody was in there. I didn't need, and these doors are spring-loaded. There's no way for them to slam. Right? So, the hydraulics, right? They close and then they slowly close. They don't slam. And I'm trying to slam the doors, and I really couldn't. And I finally got one to kind of slam, and that's when they said, "Yeah, that was it." I don't know how it happened. I don't. And I walked away. That was a weird moment for me. Now
that's just like that Lake Cognac clip.
Yes, that was a spring-loaded door.
Yep.
So anyway, back to this. It's not the photograph. Mm-hmm. It's the skull. The woman in the
creepiest thing ever.
Okay, all right. Now, and I realize that everybody can go and see these photographs that were taken of the ghost lady. Cool. It's not about that for me. It's the skull. Now, how?
I agree totally.
Oh, you do? Okay, good. The skull.
No, I agree. I've never seen anything like it. So. It wasn't even an investigation. It was a get together at the OB, and there were lots of people there, people we both know. Mm-hmm. And it was, I think, a Darkness Radio event was either about to happen or it just happened. But whenever I go out, there's photography that you do for investigating, and then there's just general photography. I'm a photographer. So in there's that back mural on the wall that is just absolutely beautiful.
Behind the bar. It's behind the bar. Yeah.
Right, behind the bar. So I'm just taking pictures, and I'm shooting the back mural. And there's, I think it might have even been Adrian in that photo. And there was a girl that he knew, a couple other friends that I know. And I took the photo, and right in the middle in 2 frames. Now, what's really weird is I took those burst photos where it'll rip like 18 of them in like 2 seconds. Mm-hmm. They just go, brrr, just take a bunch of them. It's a super fast shutter speed. So right in the middle of those, there's 2 photos with what appears to be a woman that is standing directly in between like me and the next table.
And she's you can see through her.
Yes, you can see through nobody else.
Yeah, it's a pretty strange picture.
It's a really strange photo, and especially for somebody like I've taken a million photos. Like I know digital artifacts, and then I know things that shouldn't be there. This shouldn't be there, and it's in 2 frames, and you can actually see it move. Like when you put them side by side, you could see. But she's moving. The ghost lady is moving towards this girl sitting to the left of me. And what's super bizarre is in the second photo, as she gets right up against her, you can see what appears to be, it's almost like if the skull of her...
It just doesn't appear to be. It happens. So what's her name?
Yeah. No, I can't remember.
I can't remember either. Okay, so she's in the picture. So in the other pictures, it's her normal face. You see her in other shots, and she's blonde and young and in focus, and she's looking in the camera. And then this next shot, her face is a skull. She has no skin. She has no skin.
It's hard to explain unless you see it.
Dude, it's the craziest. It doesn't make any sense. It's like...
I say that in the film, too. I say, I don't even have a theory as to what this is,
That is
scary.
I mean, that is frightening. What was her reaction to that?
That's the only night I ever came across her or met her. She knew Adrian, I think, or somebody else that was there because she just came in, had a couple of drinks with us. And we put that photo out probably 16 years ago. I mean, it was that long ago when I think about it. So I don't know what her ultimate reaction was, but it was mind-bending. It was the most fascinating thing I've ever seen in a digital photo of something that was paranormal. Because I don't know, like I literally, like I'm a film, like I know how things, occur with cameras and artifacts, but I don't have a single idea how an artifact could happen that could replace a person's face with what appears to be like a Skeletor.
It's like an X-ray. It's like an X-ray.
Yeah, and it's literally below her hair. It's like you can see the hair coming down in front of it. So it's mind-bending.
It's a crazy shot. You know what? I'm going to reach out to Adrian and see if he is in contact with her. I think she needs to see that shot. I want her reaction, and I mean, did anything It's almost like a Grim Reaper kind of thing, and I don't want to, I don't want to jinx or mess anything up. But what was did she see any ghost after that? Did anything paranormal happen?
We weren't investigating that night.
No, I'm talking about in her personal life.
Oh,
in her personal life.
Gotcha.
Did anything strange happen after that?
He would. I suppose he would know. Yeah. Well, like I said, I believe she was his friend. Well, she had to be because she was sitting at the table next to us. So, I've just taken 1,000 quote paranormal photos, and I've never seen anything like that. So that was shocking, and to this day, still shocking. And you know what's even weirder is after when we first put that out, I didn't even notice that until I was at an event. And I was showing people different ghost photos, and somebody from the audience said, "What's up with the skull?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And the second they said it, again, once it's in my head,
right.
I was like, "Whoa, what is that?" Then I went back and looked at it. I was completely blown away.
I paused the screen and looked at that. Then I went back and looked at her normal. And it's like an X-ray. I don't know how to explain it. That is a crazy. That is paranormal activity, and it's too bad that we didn't get your reaction on film there. I just wanted to mention that because of the Queen Mary, and we've got 2 minutes before the break, so I wanted to mention one other thing. And I wonder if we went down, had something like this happen on the Queen Mary. We went to the Winston Churchill suite below decks. Mm-hmm. Have you been in that room? I'm sure you have.
I have.
Okay. So I'm in there with Tony Rathman. I'm sure you know Tony. And his wife, Cherie. Great ghost hunters. And Susan Slaughter's in there with me. She's great. And we had like 10 people. Plus we had 3 cameras to my right, 3 camera people and with cameras. And then the sound guy, is directly to my right. He's got the boom going overhead. So there's like 10 or 12 of us in this suite. And this is what happens. At a moment of dead silence, I heard a female voice go, And it came from up here. Now, Tony Rathman, and we're sitting there with his ghost box thing, right? And Tony's sitting in front of me, facing me. His wife is here, Cherie. And I see Tony and I both look. He looks up above. He hears it too. So everybody in the room heard it, but he looked in the same direction. I looked this way. He looked up that way over his shoulder. And then he looks at me like, right? And it was loud, it was pure, it was direct, and I turned to my sound guy and I go, "Was that you?" And he goes, "Nope." Right? I said, "No, definitely wasn't you." And it was like a perfect female. I can't do a female voice, obviously. I don't have the pipes for it, but it was a and it was loud, man. It wasn't like a whisper.
When that stuff happens, it's such a cool experience because there's things that you present to the public. Like this whole film was made to be a lean-in experience. What I mean by that is a lot of my other films, it's a long, methodical storytelling process. You kind of lean back and sit back and get into it. Where this is meant to like stop and rewind and look and just and there's a difference between that stuff and the stuff that you experience yourself and for you.
Right.
And it's the ground between what I know for me and what I present is so far apart. But when you know. And it's so powerful when you're in that moment and it happens. And that's what I would say to a lot of my friends are like, so why do you go out and do this? I'm like, man, when you're in a place and something goes down and it's real and you know it, it's almost like touching the other side for just a second.
It's profound.
You know what I mean?
It's profound.
What's
it like for you? Do you still get the same feeling when you hear, not an EVP, but a disembodied voice right there with you in the room? Do you still get the same reaction?
Look, if it's loud enough or creepy enough or startling enough, I'm a human, right? So anything that's startling is startling. But like, for example, if I was sitting in a haunted house and I just heard like footsteps or something, I'm not. It's not going to do much for me. You know what I mean? Just because I've just been around so much of it
but I'm talking about the voice. You know, so you're in that haunted house and get out. You know?
Yeah, something like that. Whenever I feel like something's talking directly to me or it knows me, that's creepy because it's like, man, you don't know what you're playing with. You don't. And especially when it demonstrates ability. Like when we were in the basement and those loud knocks are going off and it's responding. It's going, hey, you want me to do this? Okay, I'll do it. You know, you're just waiting for it to go, want to see what else I can do? You know, and you're like, You know?
Let's take our break right here. This is Fade to Black. Our guest tonight, Chad Calek, talking about his new film. It is called 74 Minutes. Go to aghtelevision.com. Links are up in social media. We've got it up in the chat room. It's an amazing film. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. This is Fade to Black. More with Chad after this short break. Stay with us.
Way out here, we listen to Jimmy Church.
You're listening to Fade to Black.
You're listening to Jimmy Church and Fade to Black on the X.
¿Qué tal, mis amigos? Yo soy Mario Carson, el tiburón, y los invito para que escuchen a mi buen amigo Jimmy Church Radio. ¡Claro que sí!
This is Jimmy Church, and I personally invite you to the 2022 Conscious Life Expo this February 4th through the 7th, live at the LAX Hilton in Los Angeles, California. This year, we have the most exciting speakers, including Whitley Strieber, Adam Apollo, Billy Carson, Daryl Anka and Bashar, William Henry, Caroline Corey, Susan Slaughter, Daniel Brinkley, JJ and Desiree Hertog, Sarah Breskman Cosme, George Norrie, Gail Thackeray, and many, many more. I will be hosting all weekend long, including the keynote Ancient Secrets panel on Friday night, 5 vendor and exhibit halls, 3 floors of speakers, panels, and celebration. This is the biggest event of the year, and early bird passes are available now. Just go to ConsciousLifeExpo.com for the schedule, speakers, and information. That's ConsciousLifeExpo.com. Do you want to be an official Fade or Not? Of course you do. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black. Just go to our membership section at JimmyChurchRadio.com. Fade or Nots. When you think about the future of our country and where we're headed, do you wonder about the food supply? I do. Disruptions in the food supply chain could be disastrous, and they usually occur with little warning. That's why the smartest thing you can do today is to stockpile emergency food, water, and other essentials. I personally recommend My Patriot Supply. They're the nation's largest emergency preparedness company, serving millions of customers for more than a decade. In fact, they're the only source my family trusts for our preparedness plan. You should too. Right now, save 20% off a full 4-week supply of delicious meals that provide 2,000 calories a day. Saving 20% helps too, doesn't it? Especially now. So go to preparewithjimmy.com and get ready. That's preparewithjimmy.com. There's no time to lose. Do it now.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
You listen to us, and we listen to you. And so does the CIA. KGRARadio.com.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Oi, oi, I'm Reese Evans. You're listening to Jimmy Church. This is Revolution. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution is on radio. Ciao.
Welcome back. Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight, Chad Calek. We're talking about his new film. It's called 74 Minutes. It's a must-watch. We're going to go through some more shocking moments with Chad here. In just a minute, I want to mention to everybody, tomorrow night is Linda Moulton Howe, and she'll be here to discuss a disclosure in 2022, and you're not going to want to miss that. Tonight, it's Chad and this new film, 74 Minutes. And every one of your films, Chad, when it comes out, I mean, they're great in the production value. And I think that in large part, it's because you're directing, you're in control of the production, and you're very artistically inclined. And there's a very a cool way that the films are all put together. And they're all creepy, and they're all well done. But this film is right there, man. It is right there, and I'm gonna say, even though it's like the greatest hits kind of thing here, this might be your best film.
I've heard a lot of people say that, which look, you can only take that as a compliment. I learned a long time ago from the artist's eye. You can't tell, My favorite film that I've ever made is probably A Blood Red Sky, but it's for different personal reasons. You know what I mean? It's for personal stuff. But what I will say is I knew when I set out to make this that if I could do it, because again, there's nothing else to reference like it. And I was like, man, it took me 2 years and 3 different times of making it to get it right. And when it was done, what I knew is it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to watch it. It's fascinating. And the only way to go about doing it was to not beat people over the head and to make sure that everybody knew that, listen, I'm not making this because I'm trying to convince you that ghosts are real. I'm making this to the contrary because I want you to know why I believe they're real. And these, like you said, these are my experiences that define these things for me. So if you ever wonder, one of the number one questions I always get is, what's the most haunted place you've ever been? What's the craziest experience you've ever had? How do you feel about, are ghosts actually dead people, or are they something else? Like all of those questions I felt like needed to be answered in this. And when I got done with it, I felt really good about it. And I felt like, if this is something that just about anybody could watch, if you even have the slightest interest in the paranormal,
right,
you could watch this and have a lot of fun with it. Down to the hardcore investigation.
This isn't part of my notes because it wasn't really funny. But there was a moment that I wanted to go back because I had the same reaction. Okay, we're talking about orbs here. And I've only seen one real orb one time. Okay? Yeah. With my eyeballs, we all saw it, and it was big. It wasn't small. This was, 20, 30, 40 feet tall at the backside of this field. Anyway, I'm not going to get into those details. But my reaction was nearly word for word as yours, which was... You mean these things are real, right? Okay, so you have you see an orb with your naked eye, and tell me about that and your reaction to that, because we all look dust, this, that, camera flare, reaction, digital cameras, pickups. I've dismissed orbs. Probably 99% of the time, 100% explainable, nothing to do with the paranormal. But then when you see one with your naked eye, that changes things, doesn't it?
Well, yeah. I remember talking to Charlie Mattingly, and it was a really interesting conversation. The first time he ever picked me up, Charlie's Tina's husband, and he's more on the business end of things. And he told me straight out, he was like, this paranormal stuff, it's for the birds, man. I don't care if it makes money. Great,
Again, this is back at Waverly Hills.
Yeah, way back in the day. Yeah,
right.
Said a good. 16 years ago.
Right.
And but I distinctly remember the conversation where he said, but there are these like red orbs that I see sometimes. And I go, red orbs? And he's like, yeah, they're quick, but I've seen them. And I'm like, well, you just told me you don't believe in the paranormal. And he was like, well, I didn't say they were dead people. I'm like, okay. So when I was going through there, I kept seeing, it was like red flashes, but you know when you catch something on the corner of your eye and you like look and you're like, oh, was something there or not? You know?
Right.
And so I started thinking, well, if these are real, they're moving really fast. So I went through there and, man, probably took 10,000 photos, just had the camera just ripping, man, just constantly, no matter where I went. And then, you know, I finally captured 2 of them, and there's 2 incredible photos of them. One's, you can actually see the tail of it flying into a wall. And then one, I mean, it's right on it. You can see this red orb. And it blew my mind, because what it did to me is kind of open my eyes to the idea. I think I mentioned it in the film too, is that we're talking about future science, like things that we don't understand, like why these things happen at haunted places. I don't know. Or do they only happen on haunted places, or is that the only time we're really looking? You know what I mean? Like maybe the shit happens at Walmart, but we're just looking for Tide when we're there. No, not the red orb, you know? So those type of discoveries for me, and yeah, they really kind of open my mind to the scientific side of what this is, or what maybe we don't understand. And I was just like you. I've only seen with my eyes visually twice in 25 years what I would call, okay, that was an orb. Like what was that? You know, I know people say, oh, it was ball lightning, but I've seen videos of that, and it's not that.
No, it's not that. It's not that.
It's different. So that stuff to me, in a weird way, I know it's less terrifying and less mystical and less like esoteric, but that stuff to me is almost more interesting in a way, because I really do believe that what we're seeing here is not even necessarily dead. I'm getting heavily involved, and I have been for years, in this whole idea of, you know, string theory and multiple dimensions, and, you know, the vibrations of these different dimensions crossing over every now and then. And I think that has a lot to do with what we're talking about. And most hardcore like scientists that I've talked to feel that things are kind of going in that direction too. And that would make a lot of sense. I think a lot of this stuff is just stuff we don't know yet. We just don't know yet.
Yeah. You know? And it's in a weird way, man. Just like UFOs or Bigfoot or life after death or any of these, you know, fringe things, whatever you want to call them. Science is getting, and I talk about this nearly every day on the show, Chad. I do. I'm so interested in physics and science. And the more that I hear Brian Greene or Sean Carroll, you know, and these different physicists, you know, talking about, you know, Brian Greene, the big string theory guy, and the more that I hear them talking about the multiverse and extra dimensions and I'm like, dude, you're talking about frigging ghost. You're talking about interdimensional beings. You're talking about life after death. You're talking about UFOs. You're talking about time travel. You are talking about all the things that you say you don't even believe in, but yet you want us to believe in this crazy part of physics. And what is it that you're really talking about? And one day they're going to crash, man. It's going to go head on. It's going to go. Sean Carroll said, Chad, you're going to love this. Listen to this interview with Sean. And I like Sean. You know, Caltech, he's great. I love his books. But this interviewer goes, so what about ghosts and life after death? Sean Carroll, the brilliant physicist, says that this is his answer. I don't have time for stuff that I don't believe in.
Yeah.
That's his answer. What a boring life.
What's so funny about that is a lot of these concepts, especially of string theory, to me are far more mind-bending than the idea of a ghost.
Yeah, that's right. You know? That's right. You want us to believe in 11 dimensions and the multiverse and parallel worlds and entanglement, but you don't believe in ghosts, right? You're talking about the same thing.
There's another me right now in another universe that took a different life pattern And it's just so simple. It's all math. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
You know?
But you don't believe in ghosts. Right.
You don't believe that when we die, our energy transfers to somewhere else.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So I lived in Pasadena for a number of years. Okay, 84 through like 1990. I'm in Pasadena, and one of the things, this was the law in Pasadena that all residents in Pasadena abided by. You don't mess with Suicide Bridge; it's haunted, right? And that's the law. That's the law. And I used to go. I would look at it. And some lady would come up, don't go over there, it's haunted. And that was the law. Yeah. In fact, I think for a while, you couldn't even walk on it. The bridge was closed. The bridge was closed in the 80s and for repairs, right? No, they didn't want people jumping off of it. And one of the most haunted places here, it's right here. It's in Southern California. It's in Pasadena, Colorado, the extension of Colorado Boulevard. And you decide to go down there and hang out with your wife.
Yeah, that was a super bizarre scenario where we had been there multiple times and nothing had happened, but I had heard so many stories that have came from there. So finally, one night we're out there and we're just about getting ready to go, and I had to go to the bathroom. So I ventured off on my own down the little arroyo river that runs right by there. And literally, like, as I'm going to the bathroom, you get that investigator feeling, where the hair stand up on the back of your neck, and I'm sitting here going, is someone physically? My first thought is it's an open public place, right? So anybody could be down there. Anybody.
So you're peeing in the bushes in a public park at night in the dark at a haunted bridge. What's the worst that could happen? Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Like 3 a.m. So I had my camera around my neck. So I put it up to my shoulder and just go see and look back. Is there someone behind me here or what? And I look down. And in this photo, it's an incredible photo. It looks like two shadow people of an adult and what is a child. Well, one of the biggest legends of the Suicide Bridge is that there was an adult who jumped with a 4-year-old son to their death. And this is like people claim to see this all the time. And I'm not saying that's what it was. I'm saying that in the photo, it looks like an adult and a child. So as I'm walking back, Laura is shooting up at the bridge. Now, my wife is not a paranormal investigator. She's like, I went through this long time period where I was like, you gotta go with me type of stuff. And she was just so bored so many times. But she had a couple experiences with me that solved everything for her. But she's shooting up at the bridge. And I'm like, well, what are you shooting at? Did you see something fall? And she's like, no. She's like, I just feel weird right now. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, I just got this feeling like I'm shaking. Like I feel like I'm vibrating or something. And I'm like, what? And she goes, I don't know what I'm shooting. I'm just shooting. So I take a picture of her. And again, in this video, in this picture, you see some kind of artifact that is like almost encompassing and flying around her. But it's super bright, and it literally like goes all the way down, up and back over her. And again, this is a high shutter speed. I'm shooting instantly. There's nothing that I see. I know artifacts. This shouldn't be there. It shouldn't be there.
Yeah, it's a great picture.
Yeah, it's partially personal experience too, because it was just what she was feeling at the time.
Now, it was this
both happened right away.
That was my question. This was at the same moment when you took the shot over your shoulder when you were peeing in the bushes. So she's over at the bridge shooting. The picture is that you took of her. She's shooting up at the bridge. Yes. So these two events happened pretty much at the same time. Right away.
I took the photo, saw what I saw, was creeped out, finished, and literally went jogging back to where she was at. And usually Laura just kind of hangs out and just kind of like sits around. Mm-hmm. So the fact that she was up shooting, I was just like, what are you doing? So then, yeah, it was like bang, bang, like right after. So the fact that they both happened at the same time was really interesting.
Yeah,
Really
that the picture you took over your shoulder is that's a 1 in a million shot. That's a pretty incredible shot. There's obviously two entities walking. You can see their legs. You can see you can't see their heads. It's dark.
No,
it's a dark.
It's just
shot.
body-ish.
Yeah,
right?
body. No, those are legs. There's definitely two people walking. That's
and you can see the arms coming out from the side too, and you can see the chest there. It's super weird. It almost always happens like that. I swear. Whenever you try to capture evidence, you never capture it. It always happens when you're least expecting it. I used to laugh and say, "Why are we going ghost hunting? You never capture anything when you're ghost hunting." It's always when you're not. It's always when you're when you're leaving or in the parking lot or something.
Now, the next. This is my note. The St. James Poker Room, and this I jumped out of my skin because what happens in this shot I didn't expect, but it was your reaction too as well. You were caught completely by surprise. So everybody needs to go and see this. It's an incredible moment in the film. You see something like this, there's ghosts. Ghosts are real, no doubt. But set this up. What's going on?
Okay. So when we went to the St. James Hotel in Cimarron, New Mexico, it was for this ghost prophecy shoot. We were told, again, by the people there, the one place that there's not been any reported activity was this poker room. And this place the legend was that there was a ghost there that could actually have the ability to kill people. And his name was TJ Wright. And if you stayed in this room 18 where he died, after you check out in the following week, you mysteriously die. That was like the legend. Now, Mary Beth Wiley, who was on my team at that time, we never advertised or put out there that she was a psychic, nor would she call herself a psychic. But she had some crazy intuition that I would listen to. And I just been around her too many times where she thought we should go here and like things happen. She had a dream and also felt like we need to go to the poker room. So we were 9.5 minutes into that investigation. Like it just started. So we literally went in the poker room and we're sitting there, and there's this effect happen. There's this effect that we refer to as a blackening. It's a weird effect where I don't know if it's your eyes adjusting and then even adjusting more, but for some reason the darkness just becomes almost jet black. Like you can't, like nothing is penetrating it. And we're staring at the door from this poker table, and it just goes from dark to like jet black. But something really weird happened. My heart rate started increasing, and like I was running, and this had never happened to me before. Like even when I've been freaked out, yes, your heart rate will raise a bit, but this was like it was just like I was chugging. So you could hear me saying to her and be, something's not right. Like my heart is pounding too fast right now. And then I pause again, and we just happened to set our cameras. The cameras were meant to face towards the door because that's where this blackening was. Well, there's on the other side of this table, which is like almost 7 feet away, there's a chair that's sitting there.
It's a big round poker table.
Right, massive poker table.
Yes.
And this chair. So it's probably pushed out, probably 6 or 8 inches or so. So literally my heart rate keeps increasing. So as I'm saying to her, like literally mid-sentence, what I was saying is, hey, we're going to have to stop this because, my heart, there's something wrong. Right as I say this, the chair pushes forward towards us, and both cameras were dead on it. And what you hear is it move, and then you hear that massive, that's me firing back, scared to death, freaking out. In which we immediately, I called Justin and Joey, and I was like, dude, you got to get up here. I'm outside. I'm done. I need a good 20, 30 minutes to chill out. You're not going to believe what just happened. I'm certain we caught this on camera. What was really cool is the next day, Justin and Joe were able to go back in there and show people where we were sitting and put the cameras where they were and show them how far away this was. And on review, the chair actually lifted up from the back. So you can see something pushed it forward.
Yeah. It does. But that's not the magic of this shot. The magic of this shot is the gibberish that came out of your mouth at that moment. Because you say to her, you jump, right? And you
chair
go,
moved.
Did you see that? Yeah. Did you? It's like, yes, what? That's all you could manage to say at that moment.
So freaked out.
Yeah, that was just insane.
So freaked out. And she was too. I mean, she was just like, I was like, chair moved. And it was funny because it's after all that ruckus, right? It's like, crash.
Yeah.
Chair moved. And she's like, yep. I'm like, did you see it? She's like, yep. I'm like, chair fucking moved.
Yeah, it looked like
yep.
Okay, now this is what I noticed in the film, in the video. I replayed this so many times, and you do in the film too as well. The back of the chair, which the camera's pointing at the chair. This is the back of the chair, everybody. This is the back of the chair. And it's like the top, this part of the chair, right? And you can see it move. It pushes forward and then comes this way. You guys are over here. She's sitting here. You're sitting back here. So it's 4 chairs at this poker table. You're here. The chair is on this side, and it goes and scoots up like somebody pushed right from the back of the top of the chair.
The push comes from the top to the back of the chair.
That's what I saw.
Yeah, which is fascinating. And we didn't know that until we reviewed it, obviously. But even Joey went in the next day, and Joey is 6'5", almost 6'6", and he laid down on the chair, put his back against the chair, and leaned his feet all the way out to basically hook it, and he could barely touch it. So it was an incredible capture for sure.
The moment. It's one thing. We got to take a break right here, and we're going to come back. It's a disembodied voice. Okay, it's whispers. It's a whistle. It's this. It's boot steps in the dark. Whatever. But that's a physical object moving. That's the Holy Grail, isn't it?
It is, and it's funny. When I think of how many hours like I have spent, I think we estimated it was around 3,600 hours that I've spent in dark, empty places with nothing happening to finally get something moving on camera where there's 2 perfect HD cameras trained on it. I couldn't believe it. I mean, especially because again, we're 9 minutes into the investigation, just bang, it just happened. And especially because if you've been doing this for so long, you just know that, like you said, it's the Holy Grail. It's so rare that anything like that would ever happen.
Later in do you sit? You've probably never been asked this question before. But after that happens, right, the Holy Grail moment, do you sit and look at the chair now for 6 hours and nothing happens?
Oh, we spent a lot of time back in that room and nothing ever happened.
Yeah, nothing happens.
In fact, we have times that are on that we're filming and then times when we're not. We spend a lot of times off the clock in there trying to see if things would happen, and nothing ever happened in that room after that. Which is maddening. It's maddening.
Let's take our break right here. This is Fade to Black. Our guest tonight, Chad Calek. We're talking about his new film. It's called 74 Minutes, AGHtelevision.com. We have the links up. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Hi, everybody. This is Rob Halford, the Metal Guard on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Your 1 million gigawatt paranormal powerhouse, KUNX-DB, The X.
Are you ready to read about true paranormal events? Unex Media publishes nonfiction books about UFOs, ghosts and haunted places, time anomalies, cryptid creatures, and more. Just like KUNXDB Radio, it's all about unexplained phenomena. Visit www.unxmedia.com to see our list of great book titles by Debbie Ziegelmeyer, Gene Walker, Devin Listrom, Wayne Lawrence, Bill Spicer, and yours truly, Margie Kay. That's unxmedia.com.
Why is it we're not very good with our health regimen until it's too late? We don't put oil in the car until the engine blows up. When the body's out of balance, your health is not so good. Give your body some love. Log on to GetTheT.com. That's GetTheT.com. Try our Life Change Tea, which cleanses you from harmful intruders. A clean colon is one of the ways to bring the body in balance. We also carry organic supplements to help you get where you need to go. So do your body a favor. Log on to GetTheT.com. That's GetTheT.com. You can even visit our sales page to save some dough. Does anybody call money dough anymore? Anyway, if you're looking for short, helpful health tips, go to YouTube and punch in Health Matters Now. That's Health Matters Now. So, log on to GetTheT.com, shop, get balanced, then learn some cool tips at Health Matters Now. You'll be glad you did. That's GetTheT.com.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and I only drink Fade to Black blend coffee from Rivermoon. Just click on the Rivermoon Coffee banner at jimmychurchradio.com. Promo code F2B Blend.
This is the only way forward.
This is Fade to Black. Make contact.
When you're in the house for longer periods of time, you can see them flying or running across the floor. Ooh, yuck. They're unhealthy, gross, and disgusting. Bugs. I loathe bugs. We keep a clean home, but occasionally bugs show up. Well, I found something that is tougher than bugs. Orange Guard. On contact, it kills hidden bugs, including ants, roaches, and fleas. Plus, Orange Guard is a residual repellent. All of the ingredients of Orange Guard are on the FDA generally recognized as safe list. Orange Guard may be used around food, humans, and pets. It comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Orange Guard. Available at orangeguard.com, Whole Foods, and Ace Hardware.
Gold loves chaos, uncertainty, and disarray. History shows us what gold does when people aren't sure about the government, the stock market, their jobs, or their retirement savings. Our national debt is skyrocketing. Gold and other precious metals are a defense measure against inflation and a stock market that might take years to recover. So what can you do right now to protect yourself? Call United Gold Group. We offer gold and other precious metals delivered securely within 72 hours. Are you worried about the stock market? We can also help you set up a real gold or silver IRA or a 401k. Safe and secure. United Gold Group makes gold ownership affordable. Call now and get up to $2,500 in free gold or silver with a qualified IRA. Call 800-753-8534. That's 800-753-8534 or visit UnitedGoldGroup.com.
You want to know a secret? I love ponies. I really love ponies. I'm serious. I couldn't stay sane without ponies to brush.
Why fade to black? Because you never got that pony, damn it.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. Chad Calek's with us tonight. We're talking about his new film. It is called 74 Minutes. And I just posted up the link again in Twitter, so you can go and And check it out right there. And tomorrow night, Linda Moulton Howe is with us, and I'm reminding everybody: no open lines tomorrow night, no fader night. Linda Moulton Howe is here. I know it's Thursday, and everybody's excited, but it's Linda Moulton Howe tomorrow night, and I'm going to turn the phone lines off. Everybody, it's so fun. Chad, an open lines night, right? If I have a guest on Thursday, most people don't even check. They just, it's Thursday. It's open lines. I'm just going to call and get in line, and the phones just ring all night long. And I'm going to have to turn those off. 74 minutes. And here is the Lake Connaught Hotel. Now, I call it the growl in the ear.
Yeah.
You in the film, I think you said whisper, or it sounded like a growl to me.
It was like a deep breath, like a right in my ear. Yeah.
Right. And you jumped completely out of your skin.
Yeah. So we were at Lake Connaught Hotel in Pennsylvania. And I actually did a walkthrough. For some reason, it was during Paranormal State, and they asked me to do this walkthrough with Ryan and Chip for the first time. And during the walkthrough, I noticed this linen closet. Nothing more than feeling this weird feeling when we first went past it. The second time we went past it, I saw a person in there folding cloths. And then I spoke to the owner when I went downstairs and just asked them how many employees they had, and they were like, "Why?" And I said, "I saw someone folding cloths upstairs in this linen hall or this little room, basically." And they seemed to be confused because they're like, "Well, can you describe the person?" And the person I described, it was a shorter girl, and they said, we don't have any shorter girl that's hired here." And I'm like, "Come on, So during that investigation, the first place I go into is that linen closet, and same type of feeling. You get that presence feeling. I'm in one room, Ryan's across the hall, in the other room across the hall. And as I'm walking out, I couldn't believe that you could actually hear it on his camera too. It was so loud. It was just like a whew, like in my ear.
You're talking.
Yes.
You're talking when
it's
this happens.
Over my voice.
Right.
It's over my voice. And it startles the hell out of me. Yeah, I go flying out of that door and turn around. And I turn around to go walking right back in. And right when I do, this massive door that's spring-loaded, like you're talking about, starts shutting. And you can hear me go, "Why is the door closing? What is going on?" We spent probably 2 hours that night trying to get this door to budge. And when I say it was spring-loaded, it wasn't spring-loaded shut. It was spring-loaded the other way.
To stay open. To stay open.
Right. So you'd have to push against it to get it to go. And I mean, it didn't matter what we tried. Because I was even up to the fact that I was like, maybe when I ran out, I hit it or something, even though we could see on the film that wasn't the case. And like, there's got to be a reason that this door shut when it did. And there's no way, man. I mean, that door, we literally tried running into it to see if we can get it to close. And it would just go, it'd go right back to where it was.
Now,
that was super freaky.
When the growl happens, and it had a weird tone to it as well. Everybody heard it, and you're talking. You've got there's microphones, there's live audio going on, so it gets picked up by everything. But everybody in the room, you're talking at the time when this goes down. Everybody else heard it as well as you. You jumped out of your skin, but this was an audible thing that was witnessed by everybody. It was an incredible moment.
Yeah, it was I guess we would call a disembodied breath, I guess, or growl, I guess. But yeah, it was, when you talk about like, would I still get startled now? That would startle me now, just because it's so emphatic, when it happened. And I think the impression that I got when it happened was just stay out of this room. As I'm leaving, I get this, it just had a tone to it that was very menacing. And I turn around immediately to go back in. And that big door just shuts. And it was just like, okay, it doesn't want me in here. Whatever is going on doesn't want me in here. That was a serious moment.
Now, this one wasn't your reaction. This was your partner, but it was the curtains. And I haven't heard. Well, no, you do it later on in the film. We're going to get to that in a second. But I haven't heard somebody scream like he did at that moment with the curtains.
Well, what's really weird is, again, I'm talking to him. I'm having a conversation with him. That was Ryan Buell. We were at the Thomas house in Tennessee. And as I'm talking to him, he has his camera just on me, and I have mine on him. It's a common thing we did. And we didn't capture what he saw. We captured the aftermath. He said that as he was talking to me, he noticed a large, dark, like shadow person behind me that had been standing there the whole time. He just didn't recognize it. So he obviously, you could hear him. He freaks out, which we didn't have footage of this, but I put him into the wall, dude. I completely freaked out. He was right in front of me, and I just couldn't get past him. And I just went forward and smashed him against the wall. And that's why his camera shakes so much. But then when it stopped shaking, you see this curtain at the back of the room that shouldn't be shaking for any reason. And it not only shakes, but it folds over, but it stays folded. Like someone's
it's pulled aside. That's what it looks like to me. Like somebody was looking out the window.
Yeah, it's super, super bizarre. And again, every possible test you could possibly do to recreate that was done. And there's just no way, And when you experience stuff like this, it's like you can only have these experiences so many times before it's like, okay, I'm sold. There is really bizarre stuff in the world going on, And what I remember the most about that is how much his response terrified me. And the fact that there was that much energy flying around, and that after we were able to collect ourselves, there was still stuff going on in the room that was right behind me. It was amazing. Totally amazing.
Now, let's discuss this pew cushion. Where is this castle?
It's in Northumberland, England, that's a region in a city called Alnwick. It's about a stone's throw away from Scotland. You're a good 3 hours away from any kind of civilization. It's just in the middle of nowhere, Chillingham Castle is. And what was really weird is, once we landed, Kieran O'Keefe did such a good job of taking care of us. But it's a good 6-7 hour drive from downtown London to this castle. So we got in at 3:30 in the morning. And for some reason, Graham, and I don't know if he just wanted to get out of the way or whatever, he decided that's going to be the right time to do this history walkthrough. So I was just exhausted, and we would go to different rooms, and Graham would talk for a very long time. Deservedly so. The history there is spectacular. But I'm narcoleptic as hell, man, especially when I'm beat. So I slept through his whole part about how in the chapel, there's a young girl ghost that they believe. And she stays here because it's the one room that this head torture ghost, John Sage, doesn't come to. Okay? So that was a really important piece of information that I wish I would have known when I was doing my investigation. But it's almost good that I didn't know because of what happened. And what was really mind-blowing is a lot of times when you're investigating, especially if you're filming for something, you'll use the eyes and ears of your crew because, look, they've got, audio equipment on. They have other cameras. So a lot of times you'll use them to say, hey, did you see that too? Or did you hear that? Did I hear that right? And there's this great piece of evidence that's captured where there's only one girl in the room, and it's Mary Beth Wiley. And she's on camera. And I'm in the chapel, and I'm provoking hardcore.
Yeah, you are saying things that you shouldn't say in public, right? And so you're provoking.
Much less in a chapel.
Much less in the sanctuary, right?
Right. I didn't know that's where, because the whole place looks chapelish. It's just so. I'm in there doing that, and all of a sudden you hear this disembodied voice say to my team, he's not there. And it's clearly in an English accent. It's a little girl's voice. Mary Beth's on camera. She looks straight to the audio guy like, did I hear this? You know, you could see the kind of the fright on everyone's face. And then a door opens to the side. Minutes after that, as I'm provoking, I stand up, and this, it's probably 12-foot thick, heavy rubber cushion just goes ripping off this pew against my legs and hits me, in which I had a freak out session that literally had my entire team on their back.
I thought you were going to start crying, actually.
Dude.
You were really scared. I can't remember your words, but
it's I say what the F, but the way I say it, you can tell I am terrified.
Yeah, terrified. Now, you jump.
I'm extra terrified because we specifically set that up where we don't have communication. I don't have communication with my team, and I'm solo. And we did that on purpose because we were like taking the fear meter through the roof. So when it happened, if this thing could throw this at me, and I just saw it and felt it and was hit with it, again, you don't know what's coming next. So I was truly like, okay, I'm terrified. I got to collect myself, and I got to get back to my team right now.
Yeah. So you're standing there for about 5 seconds. You're talking smack to the ghost. You've got one hand in your pocket, and I'm trying to think. It's this hand, and you've got
the other hand's holding the camera.
You're holding the camera, and you're looking around the room, talking smack. The pew, and it's like a 12-foot pew, is behind you. And then you see from the end of the pew, you're here, and there's like but you see the cushion, the end of it, lift up. It's fast. This thing is thrown.
Velocity is crazy.
Yeah. It's thrown off of the pew, and hit you in the back of the legs, and then you jump, and then you turn around and you look and you see what it is, and man, you are scared. You're like a 10-year-old kid scared. And the way that it flies off of the pew, dude, it's like out of The Exorcist. This is like...
It was one of the probably as far as on my own investigation, barring the stuff as a child in my house in Persia, that was the most intense thing that I've ever witnessed, and it just hit me so hard. I mean, you can see it, my body moves when it hits me.
Yeah,
and like I said, the velocity that it came at.
Yeah.
So the team can see me, but they can't talk to me. I can't see them. So Joe saw it happen. So when I make my way back, they were like, none of them really knew what it was. In which I said to them, did you see this thing fly at me? And they're like, no. And I'm like, oh no, this thing flew at me. So I ended up showing them the footage in which they were blown. We all went up there, which is in the film too, and did everything we could to try to recreate. There's no chance. But I didn't know till after the fact the sequence of events, the train of events. Now, that's when they said to me, Graham said, well, look, these cushions get thrown often when the girl ghost, we know she throws them, and sometimes it's when she just wants people to leave. And he was like, it's amazing to see this. But he said, but you pissed her off, basically. You know, you're in the church saying to John Sage, come here to the one place that he never comes, and she doesn't want him to come. But then we put it together that, oh my God, she was telling my team, because we're not in connection. I'm clearly not listening to her. She was telling my team he's not there, meaning John Sage is not there. Stop calling for him, right? And then the door that opened up right after that was to the stairway that goes up to me. So when my team just went over and Kieran basically said, yeah, no, it was that door. But then they all just sat there right after that is when the cushion was thrown.
Yeah, she's not here.
Yeah.
She's upstairs in the sanctuary. Hey, the or downstairs. The reaction that you had. Are you first off? You can tell that your heart explodes out of your chest. I can imagine what went through your body at that moment. But big OG rough and tumble Chad Calek reacted like that. When you look at, are you a little embarrassed? You a little embarrassed to be so scared?
Not at all, man. Look, people. I have a lot of problems with the way people act in this field in general, and this idea that if you're scared, you're somehow like less of an investigator, or I mean, it's just like the stupidest shit I've ever heard. It's like, this stuff is not normal. It's not normal, So when you're, I'm the one who got the cushion thrown at me. Anybody else want to go experience it? Let's see how you act.
Yeah, right, right.
So, and I also, I never want to be the guy that takes himself too seriously. I could laugh at it. We have some deleted scenes of my team laughing at that footage. We had to shoot that review so many times because they could not stop laughing.
I laughed. I'm glad you say that because I rewound it and watched it just so I could laugh some more. You
can't take yourself too seriously in this. It's just like people that are afraid to be wrong about something. It's just like, look, man, I went out to do this years ago to really honestly make an earnest attempt to find answers for me, and through the process found this stuff to be fascinating, and just wanted to share it. If someone's gonna laugh because I did something that's funny, well, it's funny, and if it's funny, I'm gonna laugh about it. So I've been really fortunate to travel the world, man, and go to like some of the most haunted locations, and not only go to them but investigate them solo.
Are there? You mentioned this earlier. The typical questions that come at you, and I'll avoid all of that. But are there locations that you don't want to go back to?
The only one I have no desire to go back to is just my house in Persia, my childhood home. Just because there's childhood fears are different. Those are formative fears. Those are. That is rooted in my soul, man. And when I went back there for American Ghost Hunter and I went back in there, I was in there all of maybe 30 minutes, and it was excruciating. And it was just because there's so many negative thoughts and memories and things that happened that, I spent most of my life trying to forget, So when you go back in there, but as far as that, is there any other place that has scared me so bad that I would never go there again? No. I mean, like I definitely wanted, give me all you got. You know what I mean? When I go into a place, I want to experience it all. There's cases and things I wouldn't do anymore. I wouldn't do any demonic possession case anymore, just because I believe you have to have a calling for that type of work. It's the same type of thing. It's so depressing, and I'm just not a person that's going to walk in and direct a family spiritually. I'm just not that guy. And I've been on a number of those cases from a pure documentary standpoint, and I've dealt with it with my own mother. So it's just not something I want to take part in anymore. And in general, as far as ghost hunting anymore, I've got my answers. But I do enjoy taking people to places and seeing their experiences and seeing it become real to them. That's fun for me. And obviously, I'm a natural-born storyteller, so I like sharing, the memories that I have and the stories that I have of these places. But yeah, there's nothing that scares me so bad that I wouldn't go back to.
Is there? There's so many shows out there now, and I understand why. Yeah. I mean, it's great stuff. But is there a show that you actually watch?
I don't watch any of the paranormal. Like every now and then, I would check in on what Katrina's up to, just because she's a friend. You know what I mean? So I whether she's running around with Jack or doing her own stuff, I would check out. The one guy that I've always liked a lot, and it's more crypto mysteries, but I love pretty much anything with Josh Gates. I just think he's very intelligent, very funny. He approaches things kind of in the way that I do. It's like you don't take yourself too seriously. You know what I mean? But he knows when to get serious. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I loved Destination Truth when it was on, and his I forget the name of his new one. It's almost the same
Expedition
name,
Unknown. Expedition Unknown.
Expedition Unknown. Yeah. So I've caught some episodes of that. I don't watch a lot of the ghost shows, to be honest. And this is not a crack at anybody, because we're all got to make our own decisions. But most of them are entertainment based. They're not really trying to find evidence, and if they don't get it, they're faking the shit out of it. And it's hard for me as somebody who, I mean, look, I can tell you, I would take the polygraph, man. I have never faked a piece of evidence in my life. To me, that defeats the entire purpose of even leaving your home. Why would you go do that?
Right.
So just knowing things that I know and the way things work, I don't watch a lot of them, but I understand. Look, 99% of most viewers are casual viewers that just want to have fun. I just want to be scared, and just, and I get that. I mean, I totally get it. But yeah, like I said, Josh Gates' shows, I've always liked his stuff. I did watch, there was a paranormal, whole series that I watched that blew me away. It was on like one of those long lists of Hulu paranormal films. It was called Paranormal 911. And it was like cops, EMT workers, security guards, people that are not in the paranormal that had these tremendous experiences. And it was a recreation show. And I found that incredibly compelling for the fact that these were not people in this world. And when they would explain this, they would have such emotion to the way that they would explain what occurred. And I really enjoyed that. It was literally called Paranormal 911. It was on Hulu. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. I caught some of that too as well. I liked Hellier. That was
that was pretty cool. That's where the kids are running around about all the synchronicity stuff.
Yeah.
I watched a couple episodes of that. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was
it was different. I like different.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Season 1 and Season 2, chasing synchronicities, which we don't do enough of, honestly.
I'm way into that stuff.
Chasing synchronicities. Yeah. And those 2 seasons were really good. And I also liked it.
Let me bring this up, because this is really interesting. You bring the synchronicity thing up. So I don't know why, but I've been studying LA history a lot. And I got into a lot of the serial killers. And it was amazing how many of them came out at once in Los Angeles, from the Hillside Stranglers to the Toolbox Killers to the Sunset Strip Killers, all that stuff. But here's something really weird. The Sunset Strip Killers, which was a serial killer, he was found and arrested by a girl who helped him do the murders and just got tired of doing it, because this guy would have this girl go out and pick up another girl under the pretext they would have a threesome, but he would never have the threesome with the girl. He would just be with the girl they picked up and kill her. The girl got tired of it. Her name was Carol Bundy. Okay.
What?
Now, what's really odd about this, Ted Bundy,
right,
when he was in jail, met a girl named Carol, different last name, but she married him, and her name became Carol Bundy. Isn't that bizarre?
That is way bizarre.
So you talk about synchronicities, that's weird shit, right?
Yeah. I just watched. I watched a documentary about and I didn't know about it. It was called The Torso Killer in New York, in Manhattan.
I watched it.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, crazy.
Okay, yes. Now I didn't
that was a Brian Grazer doc.
Yeah, Brian Gray and Ron Howard. Yeah. And I had never heard about this case.
Wild.
Did you know about it before you saw the documentary?
Not at all. And the footage of New York back in the day, oh my God.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that was a trip, dude.
Woo, man. Yeah, the travel in. Right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, man.
I just never knew that in LA for a while, it became this hip thing to be a serial killer. All these cases happened at once.
Yeah, from 1968, if you go back to Manson. In 1968 to 1985, that was the heyday of serial killers.
Right. These cops in this documentary series, people can watch. There's a great series called City of Angels, City of Death. It's
Yes.
on Hulu.
Yes.
And it covers all of those.
Yep.
And I had no idea that the same time that the Hillside Strangler was going on, the Toolbox Killers was going on,
Night
the Sunset
Stalker.
Strip Killers were going on.
Night
It's like,
Stalker.
what?
Yes.
Yeah, the Night Stalker. It's like everybody wanted to be a serial killer. It was bizarre, man. It's so bizarre.
And all
There's
of
so
those.
much synchronicity.
Yeah. And you think about what was going on in the Sunset Strip in 84, 85, 86, 10,000 people on the Strip. And meanwhile, you got the Night Stalker running around. It was just crazy. Let's take a. You're going to stay.
So fascinating.
You're going to stay for overtime. So you just stay right there. No, you're not going anywhere, Chad. Stay right there. We're going to pick up this conversation when we come back. I've got more to discuss with Chad Calek. The new film is called 74 Minutes. And I've got the links up in social media. I've got it up in the chat room too as well. AGHtelevision.com. I'll be right back. Stay with us.
You're listening to Jimmy Church and Fade to Black on the X.
Hey, what up, y'all? It's your girl Vivica Fox here, and you are listening to my boy, Jimmy Church, on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Despite popular opinion, reading a book will not make you smarter.
But listening to Jimmy Church will.
This is Jimmy Church, and I personally invite you to the 2022 Conscious Life Expo this February 4th through the 7th, live at the LAX Hilton in Los Angeles, California. This year, we have the most exciting speakers, including Linda Moulton Howe, Jacques Vallée, Whitley Strieber, Adam Apollo, Billy Carson, Daryl Anka and Bashar, William Henry, Caroline Corey, Susan Slaughter, Daniel Brinkley, Sarah Breskman-Cosme, George Norrie, Gail Thackeray, and many, many more. I will be hosting all weekend long, including the keynote Ancient Secrets panel on Friday night, 5 vendor and exhibit halls, 3 floors of speakers, panels, and celebration. This is the biggest event of the year, and early bird passes are available now. Just go to ConsciousLifeExpo.com for the schedule, speakers, and information. That's ConsciousLifeExpo.com. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and I take Life Change Tea supplements every single day. It's what I do. Click on their banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Are you ready to read about true paranormal events? Unex Media publishes nonfiction books about UFOs, ghosts and haunted places, time anomalies, cryptid creatures, and more. Just like KUNXDB Radio, it's all about unexplained phenomena. Visit www.unxmedia.com to see our list of great book titles by Debbie Ziegelmeyer, Gene Walker, Devin Listrom, Wayne Lawrence, Bill Spicer, and yours truly, Margie Kay. That's unxmedia.com.
When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Yes, Rivermoon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Just click on the banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today.
This is Billy Carson with ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. Forbidden Knowledge TV has just reached its 1-year anniversary. That's right, 1 year. And as a show of appreciation, we are giving all new subscribers a free 30-day trial of ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. That's 30 days to binge watch thousands of movies, documentaries, conferences, workshops, lectures, yoga classes, meditation courses, and so much more. So log on to forbiddenknowledge.tv from your computer or mobile device, or get the Forbidden Knowledge TV app on Apple TV, Roku, Amazon, iTunes, or Google Play today and use coupon code 30daysfree. That's coupon code 30 days free on forbiddenknowledge.tv today.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Erica, Brittany, Gabby, and you're listening to JamieChurchRadio.com.
It's not a lifestyle we chose. We were born this way.
This is KJCR at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Welcome back. Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight, Chad Calek. We're talking about his new film. It's called 74 Minutes. We're going into overtime now. I haven't had Chad on the show in a while, and I do want to get caught up, and especially since he's in stealth felt mode, 150 pounds lighter. He's got a lot to say now. He's got all the energy. Now, I want to change gears. I want to get off the film a little bit here, Chad, yep. and talk about some other elements of this, because you have chosen to bring this forward to show everybody why you are who you are today. And I have great respect for that. But how has it changed you? Were you a believer in ghosts always? Were you skeptical? And where are you today?
Well, no, I mean, I grew up a complete disbeliever, completely atheist as well. That's why it took me such a long time once I moved into our house in Persia, Iowa. And I talk about this a lot in American Ghost Hunter, how I honestly believed for a time period that somebody in my family was faking stuff. And until things started happening when those members of the family weren't present, or when I was alone. How it's changed me the most is I do have less of a fear of this stuff. In fact, I don't have. There's a difference between being startled and scared in the moment versus like, do you fear something? If I feared something, I wouldn't consistently go after it, over and over again. I think it's just led me to a place where I have an understanding of what I think this stuff is. And I don't want to give too much away because at the end of the film, I kind of talk about it. But I do think that if we could ever prove this stuff to an infinite degree, it's like there would be no reason for faith or anything like that. That's one of the things that blew me away about Sir No Face is I truly believed, I was like, we've got it. We've got the evidence that will prove it, that we, this, and we spent so much time showing that there's nothing else. And I went through that whole tour, and that one person said to me, that's not a ghost. You know what they said to me? It's an alien. It was just like, okay, I give up, man. There's just no way to actually prove this stuff. And I think that's the
what do you mean? Let me stop you right there. What do you mean there's no reason to have faith? There's no reason to be good? Like if we prove that there is another place after death and there's no reason to behave and you just, let's just burn this thing down?
If we know that we are in fact going to a different place, if we know for sure, 100% for sure, and I'm a believer that we do, 100% for sure, if we know that there is another side, there is a next level, Now that brings about all kinds of beliefs. Well, how does that work, right? Did the things that I did in this lifetime affect that of where I go and what do I do? Is there a difference between negative energy and positive energy? We know scientifically there is. There's protons and neutrons. There's all kinds of. So I think that if we could ever, like, to the scientific community, right, and get, like you said, you met with that scientist, and the second this person brought up ghosts or something, like, I don't got time for shit. I don't believe that.
Right.
They just instantly cut it down. But I don't think, I've always felt that there is a spirituality to the other side. Now, what we choose to believe that's personal. But in my world, if I could ever capture something on film and prove to a scientist beyond a shadow of a doubt, in which they would say, yes, this is real, and this means that there's another plane of existence that we go to when we get there, I think it totally lessens the need to have faith that there's some place that you will go once you die. I mean, I would have a tendency to believe that most people have some kind of fear of what happens when they die.
Yeah.
Because they don't know. Maybe nothing.
It kind of, well,
sad.
That's right. And in a weird way, now listen, I'm choosing my words carefully, but in a weird way, it forces us to behave. Right? To live life.
It certainly makes you think about what matters.
That's
what I mean?
yes.
Right.
So if you take that away, holy crap, right? For those that were playing on this side of the line because, and suddenly they don't have to play on this side of the line anymore.
Maybe not. Yeah. I mean, I just think that there's the one consistency in every piece of evidence that I've ever seen or captured is that there's always just enough. You can come up with something to create doubt, right? There's always, it's just blurry or it's just off camera, or even the chairs, like a chair moves, but we didn't see the feet of the chair, or like there's always, that's the consistency.
Right.
The consistency is all evidence is like that.
Yeah. Bigfoot, UFOs,
right.
Ghost. Yes.
Right.
Yeah. It's
all has that reason where, to some degree, you got to have faith to believe in it, to say it's real to some degree. Whether that's faith in the person telling the story or faith in your own senses when you experience it as what happened. You got to have faith. You wouldn't need to if you knew for sure and could prove it. You wouldn't need to have faith.
So it has been said, and I tend to agree with this, that humans are the only species on this planet that contemplates and has the ability to contemplate life after death. Right? Animals don't do it. Insects don't do it. Or we think that they don't do it, and they probably don't. Right?
Right.
They're always living in the now. They're living in the moment, and they don't contemplate. Maybe primates? I don't know. They certainly,
right.
Yeah, they certainly seem sad when one of their siblings or friends dies. But anyway, is that the one sacred thing that maybe we just leave out there and try not to conquer? The one question that we have thought about since the dawn of man, right? What happens after we die? Do we just leave that alone? You don't want to try to prove that anymore, is what you're saying. You're not trying to.
I've just came to the conclusion that right now, with the resources that I have, and God knows I tried, I don't believe it can be done. And that's, coming from somebody who 3 or 4 years ago, that's why I say people can't be afraid to be wrong about shit or guess about things. I mean, I was just so certain that I had it proven that so many times I've been that way, and you just start realizing that it's like I can experience the truth and I can film the truth, but I can't give you the truth. You know what I mean? I can show it to you, but I can't make you take it in and it's true to you. You have to experience it, no matter what. Like, you have to experience it. And I guess at the end of the day, I hope that my work showed people why I feel the way I feel, but I hope it just inspires for people that have these questions, I think most people in their life get to a point where they really do start thinking about life after death, the other side, what happens when I go, like all those types of things. Are ghosts real? Is spirituality real? Like, I would hope that this body of work that I put out there would just inspire someone to say, I want to find out for myself. I want to go to Chillingham Castle and see if I hear the body that I can trust.
Like you said, like in Sir No Face, right? And somebody, that's not a ghost, that's an alien. And you look at something like the Gimlin Patterson Bigfoot film, one of the craziest pieces of film in human history, right? People look at that and go, "That's not real," right? So,
dude in the suit.
Dude in the suit. I mean, and you would have the same issues if you had the definitive ghost shot, right? I mean, a ghost comes up. I am the ghost of what, and sits down and talks to you on camera.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is so weird because society doesn't accept a personal experience when it comes to that stuff. But yet I could go into a courtroom, right, and say there's a murder case, and I could go, I saw him shoot him. And they go, good enough, life.
Yeah, why is that? Why is it that evidence, this, that, film, video, photographs, FLIR, heat, night vision, we have all of this, but witness testimony means nothing. Right?
Nothing.
But you are absolutely right. A witness would put you in the electric chair. Right?
Right. Only in this arena of the paranormal does it not matter.
Right.
But in real life, if you're an attorney and you go, you have an eyewitness? Fucking A, man. You got it. Home run. You know what I mean?
Case closed.
Like paranormal, it's like, oh, he's mistaken. He's crazy. He doesn't know what he's seeing.
Right. It's good enough.
Like, what the hell?
It's good enough for the jury.
I just watched this JFK Revisited documentary that Oliver Stone just put out. And it's hilarious. It's the same. It's like now we have even more stuff to prove what we saw that day. When what we saw that day was correct. He got hit in the front and the back. There was multiple shots. We knew it when we saw it. And we were told forever, not real. Oh, you're one of those Oswald had a conspiracy guys. It's just like, and you find out it's like, oh, no, it was exactly what it looked like. It was exactly what the eyewitness testimony said. Multiple people shot the dude. You know what I mean? It's just
yes.
You find out in the end that no, the eyewitness testimony was exactly right. And there's a lot of things in the paranormal like that where, or conspiracy world. It's like in today's world. That's why I just watched Don't Look Up on Netflix.
Oh, incredible film! Tell me you loved it. Yeah, tell me you loved it. Yeah,
I loved it because who in this lifetime would have ever thought that science and fact would be an enemy? You know what I mean? Who would have ever thought? But that's where we're at right now. If you don't want something to be something anymore, you just go, wasn't it?
Yeah. Jonah Hill, right? The chief of staff sitting in the Oval Office, turns to Jennifer Lawrence, the scientist, right? The astronomer, the astrophysicist, right? Sitting there. And he turns to her and calls her the girl with the dragon tattoo, right? and that summed up the whole film for me. The irony and the definition of ironic and the cause and effect of things. And that right there, encapsulated that moment of society today. And I just thought that was one of the most realistic, the way that McKay not only wrote and the way that he directed it, but he captured this ironic thing that is going on with society today, and media, and politics, and science, and things. I thought it was just incredible.
I just never thought I would live in a world where you could watch something happen, as plain as day, and if someone just go, it didn't happen. We're going to have to do a investigation into it. We're like, what? But I saw it. What do you mean? I mean,
what was it?
Don't look up. Don't look up at the comet that's coming to destroy the world. Just don't look up.
Just don't look up. Just don't look up. And it was so fun. So what are you guys going to do? We're going to take a couple of weeks to assess.
Yeah. Oh, my ear things are beeping.
Are you?
Let me see.
Yeah, just change it while you're doing that. Just switch it over to speakers and.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, are you good? See, now he can't hear me. I'm going to have to sign. I'm going to have to sign. Almost. Okay. And but hopefully you can hear me now. And I want Okay, you can. It's aghTelevision.com. I'm looking at the comments here. Where can we go and see this?
It's $5 cheaper there.
It's $5 cheaper. There's a comment here by David Pendleton, and he says this. He says, is the only reason that you are good is somebody frying your ass for the rest of eternity? Are you good or just kept in a state of fearful obedience to a man-made construct? And
that sounds like a whole episode to me.
Yeah. I mean, that is so well put. And the level of control that I think started off for good reasons, 5,000-10,000 years ago, where you just had to convince your village, your little group of people that you're the leader of, and you need to keep everybody alive, and you're going to do that with fear. Monsters in the night that you're going to go out and get eaten. Whatever it is, this food is good, this food is bad, this food is spoiled. Don't eat that. And it was done then for maybe the right reasons. Please understand the way I'm trying to frame this for everybody. But society has been elevated to control with fear to other levels exponentially. It's crazy, and that's just where we are today. So yeah, I totally agree with that, David. But it is it has been used for so long that the world is used to it, and the leaders of the world are used to using it, and that's really the truth, and that's where we are today. That's where we are.
No, well said. Well said.
Now,
can you hear me now?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We got you. There's another part to this, though, for me, in watching the film, that when you say, and I think it's a great point, that you've kind of changed your mindset now, where that it's not your job to prove, but it may be your mission to help others discover things. And that's a better way to go about it, and not to be the one that is trying to beat somebody over the head and change their minds, that you would rather have somebody come in and experience this for themselves.
Well, yeah, look, I think if someone's into it, hopefully they would look at my stuff and go, wow, this looks like fun. I want to go experience this and see what and if someone's a total skeptic, I wouldn't bother me at all if they were like, this guy's full of shit. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go find out for myself. Mm-hmm. And that's what I would say. I've never had a problem with skepticism. I get it. I think it's necessary to get to real evidence, but I have a problem with blanket skepticism without an attempt to experience. Like, I would never say, oh, it's easy to fly a plane without ever trying to be a pilot. I don't know. I've never tried it. Before you say, ghosts aren't real, go find out what happens at 3 a.m. in Chillingham Castle in the courtyard. I know what happens. Do you? Go see. If they do that, I'm pretty confident I know, what they're going to experience. And I think that's the best way to do anything, is to just say to somebody, okay, if I'm right or wrong, go find out for yourself. Go find out for yourself. Either way, it's a heck of a journey. I mean, it's a heck of a journey. Some of the best times of my life have been spent doing this. You know, being scared is a drug. It's like a rush, you know, being terrified, but also the laughs we have afterwards. And when you feel like you can touch that other side, and like I said, when you have those massive experiences, you feel like that. At least I feel like that. Like I was so close to what that other thing is, whatever it is, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm not interested in like trying to verbally convince somebody or show them of stuff. Like it's not even my role. You know, my role has been to document what I experience and share those stories. That's it. You know,
really quick, what's the gear that you take? You just have a couple of minutes left. I have a certain amount of gear. What is it that you put in your bug out bag when you go? What are the 2 or 3 necessary items that anybody can go and take on a ghost hunt?
Oh, physical gear.
Yeah.
I'm super old school in the sense that when it comes to paranormal evidence, I want to hear it and see it. Get yourself your HD camera with your night vision and some boosters on it, and take your wave recorder. Those 2 things are the most important to me. But what I've oddly come to actually appreciate recently, I'm trying to remember the name of it. I've been using it in Malvern. You'll know exactly what it is. It's this box that sounds like voices are coming from hell. I mean, it's like, but there's no static. It's like a Frank's box, but there's no static.
Mm-hmm.
Katrina uses it a lot with, my gosh, the name of it's right on the tip of my tongue because Josh Hurd was showing me how to use it. They're super expensive though, like $1,600 for them. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. Tony Rathman builds his own too. I think it's called the EVOC. EVOC.
Yes, that's what it is. Right. I like it for this reason, not even so much of what comes out of it. What comes out of it is terrifying sounding, and it just sets the mode. Like I'm a big believer, like I said, in feeling and believing and emotion. And there's so many times where I can tell you where I've gone into a place with somebody who's on the same page as me, and that fear is building and things start happening. And then I've gone in places with people that are total goof-offs. And it's like nothing happens.
Mm-hmm,
I've done this so much that I am just certain that it has so much to do with your ability to, or how much you believe in it and your willingness to experience it. And that box, it just, man, it sets a tone that is so terrifying.
Plus, it's quiet.
This stuff feeds off fear.
Yeah. Plus, it's quiet, and then all of a sudden, the voice jumps out, and
it's crazy. Yeah,
absolutely. And I do like the EVPs, and I've been on. I was just at the LAPD Police Museum. In it's like Las Feliz. Yeah. Pretty. That's an interesting building, by the way. So I'm down in the basement, in that tunnel, in the evidence hall, they call it, tunnel. But so I'm down there, and it's myself, Susan Slaughter. There's a third person there, maybe a fourth, but it's very quiet. It's it's in the basement, and we're recording with the EVP. But the point is, with the digital recorder, it's very quiet, and it's the 4 of us standing right next to each other, and we're asking questions and playing it back immediately. Wow, right? And I'm like, I can hear my voice ask the question, and then it's dead quiet, right? And then we stop the recording, and there's stuff there. When I know I'm standing there, and I know there's nothing going on, and it's captured. And I'm not sure what it is. I don't know how it happens, but it does.
The Constantinos were good friends of mine. God bless them.
Yes. Yes.
And I used to go out with them, and man, they would do the same thing. They'd rip their thing. I mean, I would be like, I was here, man. That voice shouldn't be here.
They were so good at it. They were so good. So good. So what's up? I've got 45 seconds. What are you doing next after this film? What's next up?
I have a film called House of the Harbinger Kingdom, which is probably the most different thing that I've ever done. It's not in any way like a part 2 of like American Ghost Hunter, but it does kind of deal with something that I experienced and realized through my father's passing. My father passed away of April last year, and it was a really painful thing for me. But through that experience, there was something that I recognized about that area, and I want to tell this story so bad. It was something my father and I were actually working on. And so that's the next thing I'm going to do. I'm hoping to be shooting by the end of February. And thankfully, Australia is finally opening up, because Craig and I have continued to document all of the weird stuff that's been going on. He's been going through a hell of a time. And Australia in general has been like martial law madness over there. And I want to get back there as soon as possible to finish up that docuseries. So, but yeah, in the meantime, 74 Minutes is out there. I hope you all check it out. Like you said, it's on aghtelevision.com. It's $5 cheaper there than on Vimeo On Demand. And that's 25 years of my life, man, into one film, you know? Pretty crazy.
Thank you so much, Chad. Happy New Year to you. You look great. And I'll talk to you first thing in the morning, man. Have a great night. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my friend. I'll talk to you soon.
What a great show tonight. Great conversation. And we do have the links up right there in social media. It's in the chat room, aghtelevision.com. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. What a great night tonight with Chad. Too long. Fade to Black is produced by Hilton J. Palm, Renee, Dennis, and Kevin. Announcers are Steve Harder, Gene Vito, and Mark D. Kovar. Webmasters, Drew the Geek. Music, Doug Aldrich. Intros, Spaceboy, spaceboymusic.com. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR with the Game Changer Network. This broadcast only copyrighted 2022 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network, Inc. It cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black of the Game Changer Network. I'm your Jimmy Church. Tomorrow night, no Fader night, because we have Linda Moulton Howe. Until then, I want everybody to be safe. It's time to fade to black.